Right now, I'm in Palma, Mallorca because I travel a lot. I'm not here on holiday. I'm here whilst the businesses continue to run day to day without me being on site. Most owners think the reason they can't step away from their business is because they need better people or more experience on the ground. In reality, it's usually much smaller than that. It's the tiny operational details no one defines properly until the business becomes dependent upon them. In this video, I'm going to show you why those tiny details matter, and it's the difference between a business that needs you physically present and one that can be operated remotely without the chaos. I'm Daniel Shepherd. I run a group of businesses across the laundry, property and industrial services, generating over $10 million every single year. Today, I'm going to walk you through one of our factories to show you the control points that allow me to be here in Mallorca while the operation keeps moving on back home. Here we go. Let's do this. Okay guys, so we are here at the Talbot factory, and this is where I kind of all started in respect of the journey of Can Do Laundry Services. It's a really lean site. It produces anywhere between 10 to 20,000 pieces a day, depending on peaks and troughs, volumes of seasonality trends, predominantly targeting hospitality with a sprinkle of workwear and medical industries alike. So what I'm going to do today is show you a little bit around the facility, how it works, the workflow, so that we have a bit of an understanding. Now what we've got to do is be very entrepreneurial in the mindset and how we approach the workflow. Because it's not a huge site, it's about 4,500 square feet, we have to think about the nuts and bolts that enable us to produce that kind of volume. And for those that have no idea about what this type of industry does, we do all things, bed linen, table linen, towel linen, workwear, floor mats, roller towels and anything textile, duvets, blankets, whether it's for the military, whether it's for hospitals, whether it's for hotels, Airbnbs and anything in between. That's essentially what we do. So let me start with the workflow. So we don't have a huge yard essentially, right? This is unfortunately, this is our yard space, and it houses about 5 to 6 Luton vans. And with that in mind, they then utilize that space. They drop the work in, they bring it in to this little section here. They weigh it, put it into our production management system, and then put it here for storage. The production management system tells the entire organization and the senior management team what work is here and which customer is here. It then goes into this little yard area where I'm standing, and it's there waiting patiently for the sorter to sort the textiles into categories. Now it's really important that we sort textiles into categories so that we can tackle the staining with specific chemistry. So bed linen is different to towel linen, different to table linen and everything in between. So by detail sorting it, we're able to understand what chemistry will be used and how it will be tackling the stain, and also the different program settings within the wash and how it's handled thereafter all has an impact to efficiency and productivity. So with that in mind, I don't even know if Sean knows I'm coming. Hi Sean. So Sean is one of our key people within the organization. He sorts the textiles, and I call this department a bit of a compass, because if Sean does it wrong, then the entire factory is off on kilt. And what Sean does, he takes essentially the volume that we have here on the site per client, and then he detail sorts it into different categories. We've got different headings, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but different headings. So we have towels, table linen, etc. He'll then detail sort it, reproduce some production labeling, and we use a Rigby kind of color-coded system that you'll see behind me. Everything's color-coded so that we know that we're working on Mondays, which is essentially green, Tuesdays will be blue, for instance, and that way then the entire organization is looking for specific colors, knowing that they're not going to work on blue before they work on red, for instance. And it's a really nice, simple way. The production management system then tells, again, the entire organization that it's moved on to the next step. So that then moves us on to the wash house. Just a quick one, guys. I'm gonna ask you for a tiny little favor. Subscribe, like, comment. I read them all. It would mean the absolute world to me, and I'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video. So the wash house behind me is made up of 5 different machines in the wash house. The washer will know and is responsible for operating this particular department. We have a tiny little baby machine that you would recognize as a domestic washer for like kitchen cloths, small little things. The next little baby machine is an 18 kilogram. It's really cool. And then we have a 60 kilogram one, which you can see is almost as big as me. And then we have 2 120 kilogram washers, and they do lots of volume. And what you'll see from this wash house that we track data. Data is an absolute pivotal part to everything that we do. It informs us of our decision making. It allows us to keep everything going. It allows us to plan our resources, our labor, and anything in between. So from here, we capture the weight, the client numbers, the programs that we've selected, the chemistry that we've selected, and we compile that over the course of a week, a month, etc., to analyze exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and perhaps squeezing a little 1% improvement into what we come to do. So really important. We're able to see, have really great insight into everything that we come to do on a higher level. Senior leadership team meets once a month, and we use this data from the production floor in order to move forward and improve. From here, because of the size of the ironer, and I'll show you, some people think that we're still like running a little laundrette. Hi, Steve. A little laundrette where you're hand ironing everything, and obviously that's not the case. So from here, this is our ironing machine. Now it's about 3.3 meters in width, and it's probably 8 to 10 meters in length. And what happens, I'll start at the front. What happens is that the operator has the work fed into what we call blue barrels. Hello, Shirley. These blue barrels here has individual customer textiles in. And from here, as you can see what Sherry's doing, Sherry's selecting the item, taking it from the barrel, and then clip feeding it into this feeder. A calendar, as known in the industry, is a big ironing line. It's made up of 3 machines. The feeder, the ironer, and then the folder. And the folder automatically folds it. It's a really clever machine. It's very insightful. It can do upwards of 300 to 500 pieces an hour, depending on the type of item. The bigger the items, the slower it is. The smaller the items, you can do more volume. So we put literally anything and everything from a pressing requirement. So that'll be table linen and bed linen, all through this machine. Now, I love all things lean manufacturing, and it's kind of how we built the principles of our business. From here, you can see Shirley's going on to our production management system, where you'll find the next customer is waiting in line. And because we've updated each individual station, Shirley will know how many blue barrels for this specific customer, and she'll know what category of those blue barrels, whether it's sheets, whether it's duvet covers, pillowcases, etc. That will then give Shirley the ability to select the relevant program on the feeding machine and the ironing machine, so we have a consistent run rate of every item. And as you can see, she's doing a brilliant job. Shirley, how long have you been with us now? 4 or 5 years? 6 years. So fundamental. People are the foundation of a business. They are the biggest success and biggest failure. But when you find people like Shirley, 6 years in the making, you make business easy. So, and again, here on our production management system, we have SOPs, which means anybody, standard operating procedures, anybody who comes into our business, we're not relying on Shirley teaching her or teaching the next person. We're relying on the systems and the processes within our business to help bring and onboard people. So, from here, essentially, the piece of textile that you see Shirley feeding automatically gets feeded. It goes around a roll here, and then it goes upwards to this folding machine. And then this folding machine, hi Deb, and then this folding machine automatically folds it here before being put and quality checked by somebody there, before being packed and then entered into our production management system here once again. And it's a really simple process in that context, like the design, but there's nothing basic about the basics. From there, we go to the towel folding station. And the towel folder it's a really cool, it's one of my favorite machines. It automatically folds towels. Somebody would feed towels through here, it automatically flips and folds, and then comes back up this section, ready to be packed essentially. It's then on this here, you see where we have all spare toweling, etc., to manage what we call rejects within the industry. So anything like through fair wear and tear or stainage essentially comes to this section where we're able to replace and ensure that the client's stock and textiles are always maintained at a high quality. From there we pack then into cages. You see like here, really steady, sturdy, weatherproof cages. We're in Wales at the end of the day, so it's pretty wet. So, and then from here, we either pack into bags, I'll show you now, we either pack into bags where you'll see something like this, and we label everything from a category perspective, or they'll go into plastic cages like this. And then they marry up. The production supervisor typically would dispatch, so they have their own dashboard system where they're able to see where in the process the customer is and how they're progressing. In the world of laundry, what we typically pick up on a Monday will go back on a Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. And it kind of is a rhythm and routine to it so that everyone knows where they are. What does differ is the volumes depending on the seasonal trends. But from this dashboard, they can see which customer is in which place of the process within the factory. And then here we have a dashboard containing the performance of each station and each individual. We track them so we can benchmark them. And they also, people want to know if they're doing a good job or they're doing a bad job. And if they don't know, then they can't improve. So what gets measured gets improved, and we measure everything. So, and then we come out to here, you'll see that we've got 2 big containers of water, roughly holding about 50,000 litres. We've got another one contingent because we ran out of water, we were that busy. And then in here, we've got a containerized boiler system. This entire site is completely steam free. And what that means is that we don't have any steam boilers, which is inefficient to run plant and equipment. It's also very dangerous. It's like having a little steam bomb in a section of your factory. And it's something that I was never really keen on. And here, it's a pretty new shed for us. It's pretty cool, but you can see we have auto-dosing chemistry from our partners called Ecolab, and they've been really good, really successful in improving the quality of our cleaning. Everything's coming out bright white, super clean, super fresh. Workwear is coming out super clean. It's really, really nice to see. And that's it really. It goes from where you saw dispatch, it comes back out into this section here where you'll be able to see they get stored in these 2 containers before then the following day they get headed out onto the vehicles. Now, you won't see any vehicles here because obviously they're out and they're collecting textiles from our wonderful clients. So that's a bit of a whirlwind, but gives you a bit of context of what goes into a industrial laundry, as it were. And yeah, upstairs it's all run and meticulously planned by our production and logistics manager called Joe. Started with us on the production floor, and a general manager called Amanda. She's brilliant, just joined us the last 6 months from the automotive industry. Really, really clever, has lots of ideas, lots of efficiency and ability to bring to the business. It's been really cool, to be fair. And let me just give you a bit of a bird's eye view. We're up into the offices where we are, and you can see every inch is kind of utilized. So yeah, let's say hello to Joe. Hello, Joseph.
Hi, okay?
Yeah, very good. So here's where Joseph sits and Amanda, and then we've got, hello, Carolina. We're going to talk to Carolina in a bit about Swansea. And this used to be my old office, and I used to sit right there. This is now the meeting room in the production factory, and it's it's pretty cool. You can see, there you are, we still got all the old memorabilia stuff. I call memorabilia, you know. Look how young I look there. That's exactly where I started. I started with an ironing board, literally. It was ridiculous, and that's what the old shop used to look like. So essentially, we started as a domestic shop where we would do your domestic laundry and ironing essentially, and kind of snowballed from there, where I learnt the industry, overcame the barriers to entry, kind of cleverly entrepreneurial, thought about how we can break into a market that you need millions, like the plant and equipment you've just seen, millions to get going. So it's very hard to break into it. It creates a moat around our business. And for those that don't know what moats are, they're things that prevent the copycatters essentially coming into the market, every man and his dog. To give you an example, cleaning, you just need a mop bucket, some cleaning materials, and suddenly you're a cleaner or you have a cleaning company. Very difficult to replicate this, especially with the plant and equipment value, also knowledge and the contracts, etc. It's a different kettle of fish. Everything you've just seen is why I can travel and be in Parma, while the factory continues to operate back in the UK. It's not because of distance, not because of technology, but because the business doesn't rely on me to fill the gap anymore. Most operators stay trapped because the real work of scaling isn't glamorous. It's defining standards, creating clarity, and obsessing over the tiny details that quietly holds everything together. That's what allows control to replace presence. So, I'll see you in the next one.